Welcome back. Literally, less than about 2 hours later, to the Sci-Fi Center.
Hey,
This is
everybody.
the Midnight Express. I'm your host, and here's the wingman, Brad.
Yeah, and whatever it is my fault.
Pretty much. I already got it. Has anybody already put that in there already?
Yep, right here.
Oh, there you go. Just Clint just hung around. So fuck it.
Yeah.
Wow. So usually this is weird to be here this time on Monday, but just got done watching what I consider to be one of the greatest science fiction achievements in a long time in Blade Runner 2049. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys whose very first time seeing it, you enjoyed it as well. If you have any questions right now, I can answer those. I'm going to go over a quick, somewhat review of True Detective, episode 4 of season 4. Kind of a weird episode. Really weird episode. It was all over the place. It was depressing. I know. I mean, obviously, you guys know how our involvement in 988 and suicide prevention and everything else. This was one of those episodes that really tied right into that. I mean, it literally brought up, if you need help at the end of it, in fact, every episode of True Detective this season has brought up that because there's a lot of mental issues in here. There's a lot of depression in here, and there was a suicide in one of the main characters, or not main characters, one of the supporting characters that's attached to a main character. Just basically walked into ice cold water and drowned herself last night.
Ooh.
It leads into the story because I'm starting to think that, like I said, I know this sounds zany, but I'm starting to think that, and I hope this is a somewhat spoiler review for you guys. If you haven't watched True Detective and you're into it, you might want to tune out on this one because some of this, not a lot beyond that went to the episode. I mean, they found some key players, that have been missing for a while. You see the term Ninth Country is brought into effect, because one of the people that they're looking for, it has a metaphysical appeal to it, but I think there's a scientific reason. I don't know if they're going to go full on cult with this, but I thought the episode of the four episodes this one was my least favorite. Still good, but not as good as the other three. So Clint missed you up to the movie. Got back for a second. Oh, okay, that's pretty much the same people that were here. I was running out of energy. Yeah, I was running out of energy.
See, Spider-Man says Liz, Jodie Foster's pissing everyone off and causing dominoes to fall all over the place.
Dude.
Also, for the Water Theory miniseries, many scenes of people brushing teeth.
Brushing teeth, and then they got to drink the water too, and they use the water. What are they mining, by the way? Did I miss that? Because I just really you took it for granted. I didn't. I must have missed that detail. What are they mining in Alaska? I don't know. I mean, that's a legit question because I really that's the first time I just realized. Wait a minute. What could be in the water that's doing this to them? Then you have the research facility. So I was hoping that last night's episode would bring a lot of things together, and it really kind of didn't. And we only got two. I think so. This is a 6-episode season. So I'm really hoping. I mean, episode 5, puts a lot of stuff together. I mean, it's a very intriguing season. It's just weird. I mean, a lot of weird stuff going on. A lot of visual. What's the word I'm looking for? Visualization, or what's the word when you're trying to articulate these abstracts that they're doing. There's a word for it. I'm just not finding it right now. But the bear with the one eye means something. It's just a lot of stuff that they've laid out there. They've laid the groundwork for something special. But you only got 2 episodes. Let's get to it. But the sister, like I said. So let me make sure. Is everybody in here watching it? Does anybody care if I spoil it right now?
Nah, go for it, man.
Okay. What's her face? The native cop, the Navarro's sister. She's been having all kinds of issues throughout the whole series. She's been suicidal. They put her in an institution, but it's a voluntary institution. And in the middle of the episode, she walks out into the ice and just takes off all her clothes, walks off into the ice and just drowns. And then the Coast Guard finds her, and then that leads to Navarro going just on a spree of just ass whipping. The two guys that she arrested in the beginning of the show, she went out and gets in a fight with them. They go looking for the one dude that was holding a shotgun to him when he was in his house, and he's gone missing. And then they end up finding another guy that had similar injuries to the people that had killed themselves, scratched skins off of himself and burnt corneas. And he's, they ask him, okay, what happened? Where is everybody? He's like, they're all in the night country now. We're all in the night country now. So it was 4 episodes in before we referenced the night country. So now I got questions of what is the night country? What is this? Is this one big hallucination? Is this one big, are we watching this show through one person's point of view and they're just all fucked up? I got more questions with this episode than I had, in the previous 3. Do you watch it, Brad?
No, I have not seen True Detective, unfortunately, but yeah, I'm not too precious about spoilers either, so you can just go ahead with it. Apparently, I'm the spoiler now.
Let's see. William, do you think the old lady that hangs out with Navarro, remember she can see the dead? Okay, yeah. So they were talking, her. They were talking to her. She's like, why'd you leave out here? Why, she left. She was a professor somewhere, and yeah, she sees her, her dead person, and she can see the dead. And then once again, I don't, without knowing how full occult they're going, is that just a coping mechanism for her? Is everybody seeing shit? And here's I think might be happening is the water might have some kind of toxin or something in it that's bringing everybody's worst everything back, because everybody is having visions that are directly related to their lives. Like Liz's character, obviously there's her ex-boyfriend and her stepson or whatever is killed, and she keeps having visions of them. The one lady has visions of her boyfriend, that died, and Navarro's having visions of her sister. I mean, everybody is having these visions that are directly affected by them personally. So I'm wondering if the common thing is the water or something that's making them all, but there is still a killer out there that's doing killing, and it has to do with the mind. So, but like I said, we only got 2 episodes to figure this out. It's like
Ruth says she is watching True Detective.
Well, Ruth is getting Ruth is getting hints and stuff of what she wants to do. She's like,
have you been featured on True Detective yet, Ruth?
She's like, I need to get out to the snow. It's a good place to.
And
go ahead.
A couple good ones here from Aaron. How's it going, Aaron? Over in the chat, and also Aaron has to say, I just finished watching Avatar: The Last Airbender today. Oh my god, that was one hell of a emotional ride. Yes, I can tell you guys, you have to trust me on these things when I tell you, when I recommend things. See, Aaron, she's proof here. It's like I got it. It's like Avatar. It's spreading, So yeah, glad you enjoyed it, Aaron. And I mean, there's only one other thing to say on that, and that is, of course.
Well, my work is done here.
What do you mean your work is done? You didn't do anything.
Didn't I?
With Avatar, with the raid, with everything else, get you guys going on. But yes, glad you enjoyed it and finished up. Show. Are you going to be diving into Legend of Korra, Aaron? Any chance? Because that's the follow-up show. But of course, you also just finished it just in time for the Netflix the new live action reboot they have coming up on February 22nd, just after my birthday today, which 17 days later, but I'll take it. So timing's good. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and a lot of Avatar fans are too. And yeah, let me know if you're getting started on Legend of Korra as well, because that's of course the follow-up show with Korra as the next Avatar.
And I don't know what I mean. You guys are speaking Greek right now.
Yeah, well, see, I'm telling you, Brad. You have to trust me on these things. When I tell you guys about the raid, when I tell you about Avatar, when I tell you about Iron Fist season 2, okay,
that you're no.
You must trust me on this, okay? Everything, guys.
I don't have to trust you on that one, because I saw that one and it just wasn't good. So.
No, you listen to me, guys. Listen to me. This is no. You got to listen to Brad on this one. Well, he says I'm the untrustworthy now. Wow. You have it started. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's the of course the follow-up show. It's pretty awesome. itself, I would say. I get to interview it. Funny thing too, I met Janet Varney, who voices Cora on the show. I've met her, and I've interviewed her and Dante Bosco, and he voices Zuko, Prince Zuko on Avatar. So I met her when I went to Tampa Comic Con with my friend Mike in 2015. Then a few years later, I got to interview Dante. That was during COVID. Yeah, that was during the height of COVID. And then about a year or so after that, I got to interview both Dante and Janet when they started the Avatar podcast. So that was pretty awesome. Very proud of that. But yes, let me know your thoughts on Aaron when you get started on a Legend of Korra, because pretty worthy follow up to Avatar, I think. But of course, also you talk about being very emotional. Yeah, it's that's what's given Avatar. It's a big part of what's given its popularity is that for a Nickelodeon animated kids show, it's very layered. It's got a lot of depth and a lot of emotional resonance to it. I mean, a big part of that is with the arc of Prince Zuko, which anybody who's not watched the show, of course, you'll be seeing this. I imagine, pretty faithfully recreated on Netflix coming up. But his, Aang is the titular Avatar, and Zuko, he's the Prince of Fire Nation. And long story short, he's been banished from the Fire Nation by his father, who's the villain of the show, Fire Lord Ozai. And the only way he can get back to the Fire Nation now is he has to capture the Avatar. So he's on this kind of personal journey where he he's trying to capture the Avatar. He starts as an antagonist, and by the end, he ends up becoming Aang's ally and his best friend. So he's the show really is as much about Zuko as it is about Aang. So anybody who's not seen Avatar, a quick little rundown there. Brad, the abrupt subject. Okay.
Oh, well, you don't really have much of it. So, I mean, we were talking loosely about True Detective, but
what's up, Mike?
So, yeah, it's an abstract show. I mean, you can come in, you can ask me questions about Blade Runner if you want to. I mean,
yeah. William, what is going on with the one-eyed bear? And the bear has made an appearance every episode so far.
Something happened with her kid, her stepson, because that daughter that she has is obviously it's not hers, and she's become her foster, her adopted mother, because her boyfriend, who she would go out with, and his son had died somehow in an accident or something, and something that was his bear. Remember the bear that she threw? It was a little stuffed bear that was missing an eye that she threw out into the snow. Somehow that's a connection to the family she lost. And that's what I'm saying. Something central is causing them to hallucinate about things that mean something to them. With the one girl, it was, with Navarro. Yeah, with Navarro, it's Annie, being murdered. And then when you saw it, if you were watching it last night, you saw the body floating in. That was her sister. So whatever is bothering these people, something is making it to where they're, it's bringing out personal issues and making it real for them. So, like I said, I'm guessing it's the water, but it could be something else too. Because, like I said, I don't know unless I miss it. I don't know what it's being mined at the mines, and I don't know in the mine whatever they're mining at the mines and the research that those missing guys were doing. Now, it could be that whatever they were researching got into the water flow. Something happened, but I just don't know enough yet. All I'm doing right now is guessing. I'm probably going to watch a bunch of these YouTube shows that there's some YouTube shows that really do a good job of breaking these things down and pointing out things. I'll probably have to watch one of those because I know there was a lot I missed in this episode.
Yeah, okay, who else? I think I might have skipped a few in the chat. Oh, by the way, I meant to mention I want to ask if you want to go ahead and play this because they put out the trailer today for Pooh, Blood, and Honey 2. I don't know if you've seen that yet. Yeah, I think it is.
Make sure it's from Jagged Edge Films. If it's from Jagged Edge Films.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and pull that up. Just bear with me here, guys. Oh, and there are also some set photos from Daredevil Born Again that does indicate that Bullseye will be putting on his costume. Now it's kind of like an early version of it, so it doesn't have the, the logo or anything like that. So
you know what? I could do it. I could do without the bullseye on the forehead if it's me.
I don't know. It's like I feel like I don't feel like that's as over the top. Like translating from comics to live actions. People seem to think it is. I think you could. I think that'd be pretty doable. William asked William, or Spider-Man asked William, was the body in the water and the bums abandoned ship real?
I don't know. That's what I was referring to. I don't. That's a vision to me. That to me is a vision. I'm interpreting that as a vision, but I could be 100% wrong. I have to see next episode to see, because I might have to watch this episode again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch it. Like I said, there's a guy, he does Teflon TV. If you guys get a chance, he does really good jobs of breaking things down. He watches them and then he breaks them down in a casual fan. He's hilarious. He's great. And I mean, he usually does one for True Detective. I didn't watch the episode before because I understood it, but this episode left me hanging. So I'm going to have to watch it. And he picks out everything. And I started watching him when he started doing it for Dexter New Blood. And he, along with everybody was pissed about how that ended. But so, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch some of those to really get back to you guys on that one, because there was some stuff in there that when I try to put it all together, some things are not making sense for me. So, and I know it's not because it's poor writing; it's because I'm missing something. So I'm gonna watch it again.
He had the logo on his baseball cap, so it's better than Colin Farrell's Bulls. Yeah, the brand I never got. I never really.
Brand was stupid.
Yeah, I thought that was. Yeah.
I don't know. It's okay in the comics, but in his whole the around his neck, that's kind of silly.
Well, even because it starts out when he's in that bar scene, throwing darts. He has that beanie on, so it's like, even if you weren't going to do a full mask, just put it on the beanie, or it's like put it on like a do rag or something like that. It's like,
yeah,
I don't see. I just don't see how a bullseye emblem is that hard to
But like I said, in the comics, it looks okay. But in when you look at the actual, I just don't. I hope they don't properly. I don't think they. I hope they don't drop that. But if they do, I'll be all right with it.
Aaron, I wonder how they're going to navigate Aang and Katara's relationship in live action, since the actor playing. Yeah, because again, filling everybody in on Avatar, it's like Aang and Katara. They have a romance, and as adults, they eventually get married. But of course, you're dealing with very young kids here, so it's like, how do you tackle that in a live action show? I'm trying to think, like, what, I don't know, for anybody who's a big fan of the in the chat of Avatar, like, what are you most kind of sound up in the comments? What are you most looking forward to seeing out of the shows? And I have a question. I'm definitely looking forward to the much better bending that we're going to be seeing, as we've already seen the trailers, and I'm just looking forward to seeing like the world brought to life, the world of the four nations. Those are kind of my two big things. So yeah, sound off the comments if you're a fan of Avatar, like what you're most looking forward to. But yeah, that is a good question, Aaron, how they're gonna tackle that. Droga says Will Smith should have been Bullseye. He was Deadshot. That's by the way, Pryor's dad is Danny McBride's brother in Eastbound and Down.
I felt awful for that guy. He's a prick. Okay, so for those of you guys who aren't watching, his dad's a goofball. He's a cop. His son is pretty cool. His son is the most level-headed person on the whole show. His dad has been giving money, sending money to this Russian bride that's supposed to come over, and they're supposed to be engaged and get married. It's clearly a scam, but he's so lonely. It's like he believes in it, and he's getting texts from her. He's got this. So finally, it gets to the point where it's Christmas Eve, and she's supposed to be flying in, and the way they filmed it was so messed up. So the plane lands. He's standing there with a teddy bear and flowers and shit, and then all these people get off the plane. And then nobody's getting off, and suddenly this blonde walks up to the door, and he thinks, oh, this is her, and then it ends up just being a flight attendant who's telling the guy just to pull up the door so we can take off, and he's just standing there all alone, and then he wants to go spend now he's alone, he wants to go spend Christmas Eve with his son who he's had a rough relationship with, and then Danvers, who it's really hard for me to like this character. She's all kinds of fucked up. So she gets drunk, and so she's not supposed to be out driving. So she gets Navarro to go get him when he's already promised to his wife and their kid that we're going to be there for Christmas Eve. And so he ends up dropping his plans. He's not there for his dad, and goes to do her bidding. And she's fucked everyone. She's like. every time that they need to interview somebody or talk to somebody about the case, if it's a wife, they look at her like you, and it's because she's like slept around and like everybody, even her superior officer, the guy played by Christopher Eccleston, she's banged him. I mean, it's like what the hell, and it's become like a running joke now. But it's kind of funny. But yeah, it's I felt bad. That's the first time I felt bad for that character because he's pretty much been a prick the whole time. I think he's got something to do with it too.
That's or Droga says just do what they did with the No, man. As far as like handling the guitar and any romance, no, come on, we got to shoot a little bit higher than that. Nah, man. Yeah, Aaron says that Michaela Jill Murphy reaction videos and different now for watching. Yeah. When of course I had seen the show before you had, so it's like but yeah, I could definitely see because she was really amped up for it. And Aaron, also you, because you kind of sounding off the comments saying you're taking the dive into Avatar. It's like so you did this like about over like a week, right? So that's pretty quick. That's it's the whole show is it's like 66 episodes and 20 per each of the 3 seasons. So yes, I should pull up my Leonard Nimoy video again there because it's like
No.
Guys, I'm telling you, when I recommend, you have to trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was and thank you by the way, Aaron, for bringing that to my attention because I hadn't seen that until you did. But yeah, well, okay, I got the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey trailer here too. So let me go ahead and pull that up. I don't know if do we have a date on that yet?
No. They just wrapped up production on that thing just now. So.
Okay. Oh, Ruth says I'm going to start a cooking show to follow this message. Kill and grill. Meat tastes best when it's not had time to rest. This menu is not for the faint of heart.
There you go.
God. Oh, that's a good one, Ruth. That is Ruth leaning into that that running joke we have. Okay, let me go ahead and with Slipknot. People are asking me to pull up a Slipknot's question here, so I'll go ahead and pull that up before I pull up the trailer. Question: just watched a video about Argyle doing badly at the box office. The media's claim it's Henry Cavill's fault. It was only 10 minutes max. What are your thoughts? Yeah, that's the bullshit. That it's his fault, or really, that's anyone's fault. I mean, I think it's just a matter of, I mean, it's just really, I think a lot of the box office analysis really these days just isn't taking into account the long-term impact that COVID had. Because again, it's like whenever I go to my theater, it's like I have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home is the only time I have seen that place as swamped as it was, regularly like over summer 2019.
Yeah. I don't know why that movie failed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss too because that's just not bad. But yeah, Henry is the marketing is definitely a bait and switch because he's again his role what he is, it functions for the story they're telling, but he's not anchoring it in the way like a lot of the marketing is presented. Aaron says, yeah, I watched it under a week. Son, which again, it's like that's when I first started on Avatar. That's not how I did. And it's the same thing with like when with any series, and whether it's streaming or on cable, it's it's a pick your poison thing. Whether people want to just binge the whole thing, I just kind of like to take things a little bit more slowly. So I'll do an episode or 2 a night whenever I'm getting into a new show because I just I'd like to elongate things that much. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just kind of more my approach. But Aaron, yes, again, I spread the gospel of Avatar. Awesome, guys. I'm telling you, you have to believe me on these things, okay? And Clint wants to take it back to True Detective. I mean,
what?
He's saying if I stop talking about Avatar, we might discuss True Detective theories. Okay, well, let me go ahead and pull up the trailer now for Pooh Blood Honey. Come up. There we go. All right, got it here.
Let's begin. I'm going to take you back. Feel all weight drift away. How are you feeling?
Good morning.
Do you recall anything from the session? Focus. What is happening?
This was the day Billy was taken.
Them kids. They didn't stay buried. It's as if the earth itself was allowing this horror to rise up.
There's some unsettling similarities to the 100 Acre Massacre.
It's not safe. There have been loads of murders being dashed down.
Tell me everything you saw, please.
I knew this day would come.
All of Ashdown will burn.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty well. I mean, definitely getting your 3Ds out of it.
Yeah, it looks like they've upgraded the makeup on Pooh. It's not just, it doesn't look like a rubber mask anymore. It looks like a textured mask.
Yeah. The costumes for all the characters. I get the sense they went into this. They had more of a budget to work with.
Oh yeah, they made a lot more money this that time. I've been trying, like I said, they keep going from one movie to another, so it's really hard to get them nailed down because they're already done with Bambi. So they just go from one thing to another. So, but I'm trying to get my 10 minutes of fame with them.
Yeah, because you said, like, remind me again, like you touch base since like they might be able to in the near future, or I was like,
yeah. Basically, before the first movie was done, we reached out to them, but then things got picked up, and things got and they're on they're on the other side of the planet too, or like, and they're in their time difference is a little bit different. So then they went right from Blue Blood and Honey into making both Blue Blood and Honey 2 and then Bambi Redemption or something like that. Something with Bambi, I forgot it's coming out, but they're making both of them at the same time. So. And then he was on a live stream. I'm like, hey man, when am I gonna get? He's like, we'll get to you. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll just take him at his word. I'll surprise you guys when they surprise me with it. So.
Yeah, but you're definitely getting your 3Ds out of it. I'm kind of wondering, it's like, would they because they got Pooh, you got a lot of the other characters. Are they gonna try to Tigger. Yeah. Oh, like horror movie Tigger. I can't wait for that. But I wonder, would they try to do a version of a Woozle? Like, what would a Woozle in this Pooh universe look like?
Can they even do one?
Yeah,
legally,
like Heffalumps and Woozles. What would they look like in Blue Blood and Honey?
I don't know. I'm afraid to ask.
Because they're already. I mean, the idea behind them is they're meant to be, kind of spooky characters for like normal Winnie the Pooh stuff. So,
I mean, are they going to be any spookier than Winnie the Pooh and Tigger themselves? I mean, because Tigger looks, fucked up with his tail. They got the tail, the animated tail. So,
yeah,
like I said, I want to find out when it's coming out. I hopefully it gets a wider release, because we went and saw it on just the one day that it came out, in here, and it ended up doing pretty well.
Yeah, I did too, and because that was about, what was that, like February or March last year?
Yeah, it was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they did a pretty quick turnaround, as we're going from that to this. So they were, like you said, they went from one to another.
That's why I can't get my interview.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see. Aaron also says it's like what Michaela Jilmer in the video of Avatar. He's successful. Yeah. Because Toph doesn't enter until season 2, so they're. I mean, unless they're like pulling some super secret thing. And Toph is an awesome character. Toph Beifong. So yeah. Yes, I have a pretty good feeling.
I don't think Clint's a fan of Avatar. I'm getting that.
Well, Aaron is, so where it's like we're. Yeah, but I have a pretty good feeling about it. I know there's been some consternation about some of the like comments made in interviews, but it's like I feel like those, you don't have full context without being able to pair it to like really seeing what they've done with the show. So yeah, I have a pretty good feeling about it overall coming up. But yes, very 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 much want to see this this adaptation of Avatar, their version of Toph, because Toph is a phenomenal character. And really, they spared her that 2010 movie, thank God. But see her done justice now in the Netflix Avatar. So I'm with you there, Aaron.
Well, Larry, how do you people online at least figure out how Annie was killed?
Actually, Spidey's asking me to pull up a couple of comments because he has a theory. Here, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Okay, missing fingers girl could be a red herring. Was that in the Tigger, or was that in the Pooh?
No, you're talking about. I think you're talking about.
Okay. I think the woman from the first episode with two missing fingers might be involved somehow. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And the missing fingers could be a red herring.
Okay, I forgot all about her.
And he also says, I think Kenny Power's dad might be involved in covering up something for the Mind 2 with Annie.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I got to know what Larry, what are they mining? What kind of? It's not a coal mine. What are they mining? Is it a coal mine? Because it's something that's fucking up everything.
Yeah. Oh, fourth. It's like he says the costumer for cats. No, come on, man. That's objectively not true. Cats is horrifying. But because it's not because these are practical. Those are CGI deep fake human feline mutation creatures, and it was a complete mess.
Well, there is a cat in this movie, so
thank you, Jerry, for birthday wishes.
Oh, Jerry Correa, I've never seen you here before. Thank you. Welcome to the chat.
We've had like from Friday to Saturday on, we've had a lot of people jumping in the comments and even on the panel on Saturday who are complete newbies. So I'm enjoying seeing all the new faces.
Lead. It could be lead. Because remember, it's killing. It's jumping up their mortality, infant mortality rate too. Because remember that one episode with, like I said, the last episode where the baby almost died, and a lot of it has to be doing. But I'm wondering if it's just the water too. I'm wondering if it's what else it could be affecting.
Okay, Aaron says, William, you would like the Toph character. She's essentially a pro wrestler in her home. That's how they introduce her. She's introduced basically as a like earthbending pro wrestler. And she's a very no nonsense kind of character, and she ends up teaching Aang earthbending. And she's very sardonic. She's a source of a lot of. There's a lot of comedy that comes from Toph, but it's very dry humor. She's almost like the kind of comedy you expect to see, almost like from Nick Fury. She's Toph. She's the toughest of the Team Avatar characters, and she's also she's blind too. And the way that they play her up is that she's blind, but she's able to teach Aang earthbending because she senses all the vibrations in the earth through her feet. So they have almost like a little bit of an homage to Daredevil with her. Is this true?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, he's in. I mean, dude, he needs to worry about keeping his Teslas on the road. Worry about it. And I don't know if the board would ever approve that. Listen, Twitter's a disaster since he took over. Can you imagine him taking over? I mean, he can barely run Twitter. Disney is much, much larger. And I don't think I think Apple would buy Disney before he did. I mean, he definitely may have the money, but once again, he just bought Twitter for $46 billion and dumped its value. So now.
Oh, let me see, because Fourth is saying talking about this. Let me see if I can. I think you're just pulling our leg here, Fourth, because I'm. Yeah, no, he hasn't bought Disney. Forrest just having us on there.
Oh no, it might. I mean,
or maybe he's expressing interest behind the scenes. I don't know, but I mean, I have the same reaction I did when it's like he bought Twitter. It's like, okay, some rich assholes like just throwing around money and just buying up tech companies. I mean, like William said, it's like he's not exactly done an exemplary job with his tenure so far, but
It could be a rumor. I don't know. I don't know where that came from though. I don't know why. I mean, like I said, his company took a hit value wise from what he did with Twitter, and then with everything going on Tesla. And I don't think a Disney board would approve a sale like that. No way. Even if it is a possibility, I don't think it'll ever happen.
Well, plus, I mean, you're talking about an individual buying Disney as opposed to, because we talked the other night, it's like, basically the companies, the only two really would have the would have the capital, the money to do that. Basically, would be Amazon or Apple.
And plus, he wouldn't be able to take. He took Twitter private. He wouldn't be able to take Disney private. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
not be able to buy Disney because you wouldn't be able and turn it. Plus, like I said, I don't think he would have the votes because they're just like.
Jumping up. Okay, sounds good, Ruth. See you back when you jump back on. So apparently the creator said the killer has been shown throughout the season, unlike previous seasons.
So we're basically looking at the killer. It could be a
sounds
cop. Maybe it's Pryor's dad. I mean that's good money on that one right there. Yeah.
Aaron says Blade Runner has 2 movies as a comic book, has animated shorts, it's going to be a TV show. What other medium would you like to see the Blade Runner universe go into? I mean, I think the only one left there really is video games.
Then they've already done that.
Spider-Man.
An updated video game would probably be good. That's because it's been quite a while.
Spider-Man also says, William, there might be prehistoric microbes in the water on Earth by mining operations and scientific research labs.
That's true, too, because wherever she was at when she was killed or when she was dragged away was in one of those caves.
Azteca says, Raised by Wolves getting picked up by Netflix to get season 4. I mean, HBO Max left us on. Yeah, the same thing with Warrior, too. Pissed me off.
Season 4? How many seasons did Raised by Wolf had? I only had the 2. Wait a minute. Raised by Wolves?
Yeah, it's like I couldn't say offhand about Raised by Wolves, but it's pretty much the same thing that happened with Warrior, because that ended with season 3, and they brought it over to Netflix, and there's talk like, okay, if it really breaks out here, we might, Netflix might, pick up the ball and run with it.
Yeah, it only had the 2 seasons. What do you mean season 3?
Yeah,
I was about to say, I missed the season. I missed the season.
And so might get a season 3, and then Warrior might get a season 4 on Netflix. So are you telling us that Netflix picking up properties that have discontinued by other studios actually might be a viable option? I can't resist.
It doesn't say anything in here. This article I'm looking at. It'd be nice if they picked it up, but
Aztec also says hi to everybody in the chat. How's it going, Aztec?
You meant it would be cool. Okay.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool? Well, again, that's the when Warrior moved, when they brought Warrior over, and that's also what Cobra Kai, because when it was on YouTube Red, then they brought it to Netflix, and it really, Cobra Kai, that's when it really became a phenomenon. When it was on Netflix. So they do have a history of kind of picking up something that has been ended elsewhere and continuing it. So, but yeah, I had to get that one-liner in there about what. I can do this all day. Let's see. Drogo also says, I thought I was 12. Now we're talking about I'm older than William is.
Definitely not 50.
There he is. William, do you think the engineer and Navarro's sister experienced something similar to the researchers? The engineer leaving all this stuff and his sister leaving her clothes behind.
Possibly. I think there's and I think there's something common affecting all these people to do the same thing. It makes them suggestive, mentally suggestive to to their own depressions. So like I said, I wish I would have I wish I knew a little bit more, but they haven't given me enough. Because I'm trying to make the link, but I mean, other than they're all having these hallucinations, and with Annie, not with Annie, she's already there, but with her sister's had all kinds of issues that they couldn't identify. So, and then her mother had it too. So her mother, it could be, who knows? Who knows? I don't have a good answer for you because they haven't given me enough to work with.
See, same with Westworld. You're talking,
Yeah,
are you talking about like Westworld?
Westworld doesn't need to come back. Westworld had its time. Westworld had its run. By the time Westworld was over, there was no more story to tell in Westworld. They struggled to tell the fourth season of the one that they had, and it wasn't very good. So Westworld is one of those ones that I don't need to see any more of.
Thanks, you guys today. Okay, thank you for letting us know, Jorga. Andy the musical.
Okay.
I think I
Somebody was drunk.
thought. Larry says, I also feel like I'm not getting the link to the Spiral yet.
Yeah, me either, but it's everywhere. There's no coherent link to it, but it's everywhere. It's on rocks. It's everywhere. It's in that guy's place. It's there's definitely a link, but they just haven't given it to us yet. I'm not feeling the link either, but obviously I know it's linked up to something because they put it on everything. So
Says I'm not drunk, but I've been drinking a lot today. Okay.
all right, well.
Arguing semantics there. Azteca. So in other words, season 4 True Detective is everyone just tripping balls on shrooms. Okay.
Or something much worse. It could be something that's good fucking with it. Could, like I said, it's something that is common and somebody is willing to kill to keep it secret. That's the killer is in the details of it getting exposed, but the actual effect of what it's doing is what's making it feel like a supernatural feel to it.
Larry says I agree. You agree with that theory? They're hiding the truth in this perfect way at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, I even think her superior officer, the captain from up north, from Anchorage, could be involved in it. In fact, I'm quite certain he is.
Aaron asks, "How about a Blade Runner stage show or musical?"
No.
Well, I think it's like I think I could see them doing something cool with that, but also I think that would be one that would be really technically complex. I would imagine. It's like I sort of think like remember like when Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark was on Broadway and like
look how that turned out. That guy killed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, God. Oh, the injuries people were going through on that. It was like,
I mean, literally, Spider-Man got killed in that. I mean, the guy playing Spider-Man fell from a place, and they still kept going too. So
yeah, no, they had to put they had like the longest like preview section or preview lead up to the main show because they had because the injuries and because how complex it was, they had to keep reworking it. And, yeah, there's that. So.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I would have to see how it came out, but I mean, right now I would just want more Blade Runner. Period. I mean, if I collect comics, like I said, Black Lotus. You guys have to watch that. I mean, if you're watching, if you're into Blade Runner at all, please watch Black Lotus. It's really good.
Larry asks, I can almost see it being anyone at this point, or either hallucinating or supernatural.
The supernatural thing will be a big jump because that's not what they were doing before. It's inconsistent with what the show's done. I'm not saying I'm against it or anything. I'm just saying that would be a real big swerve for them to find, to do something like that. And I think it's hallucinations. I think it's supernatural looking, but with real world reasoning. That's what I'm thinking. But it could be wrong. They could have the fucking Wendigo come out and just be the one that's killing anybody.
Let's see. William, the captain, is definitely covering something up for the mine.
Yeah, he's definitely he definitely is. That's and he's probably covering something. They're all probably covering something up about the murder too.
Okay, we got a good one here that William is probably really gonna love. Oh, by the way, real quick, some guys low ass color, awesome. William, do you think the WWE is pivoting from Rock versus Roman back to Cody versus Roman because of the backlash?
No, not at all. They knew that backlash was going to come. I think there's more to be told here. I actually think Cody is going to come out as a super face and a big moment at the end of all this. I think The Rock is just a part of the storytelling, but I'm glad he's been added because I just wasn't feeling another summer rerun. So I think Cody will eventually finish the story. I think he'll get his belts. I just think that there's more to it. And even Cody went on Twitter and basically said, "I know you guys are passionate, but trust me, he's in on it. So I think in WWE they don't react that way. They don't react that way. They're sold out the building 2 nights in a row. Their ratings probably tonight are just fine. They're gonna be okay. So and like I said, I don't always agree with what WWE does, but when it comes to their product and knowing their fans and knowing what the reaction goes, they knew exactly what they were doing. And they've been ratioed on Twitter and on YouTube. It's got 1 million hates and all that. They don't give a fuck about that. They give a fuck about you engaging on any level. Engagement for them on any level is keeping them in conversations that they may or may not have been with otherwise. So you can love what they're doing or hate what they're doing. You're still talking about what they're doing, and that keeps the level of engagement up and the awareness of the product. That's perfect marketing, actually. So nope, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's okay. Brad, besides watching all you do here, but yeah, pretty quiet birthday. I mean, I was in class earlier. Had a good birthday lunch with my folks, and so yeah, pretty quiet. It was over this weekend. I met with family and had with my nephew, and we did cake and gifts and ice cream and things like that. But so yeah, it was kind of a birthday weekend more so. Pretty
Dark Knight. I hope not. I don't want to see aliens in this, dude.
Nice.
I might be done then. Come on, man.
I'm just louder. Okay.
I hope it's very possible, but I hope that's not the case.
Okay. Fourth, -1, minus color. Cov. Okay, you're clearly not a fan of the concept of Godzilla minus color. Okay, let's see. He also asked, "Did you see the trailer for the next episode?" Yeah, that's really what has my mind racing.
Yeah, it looks like Liz is getting to the point where she's starting to put it together, and I never get too hot trailers like that because a lot of the stuff is put out of order, out of sequence and shit. So it's hard for me to discern. I used to be able to do that all the time, but when they people started figuring out shit, they started scrambling the trailers so that you couldn't do that. They would put things here and here and here, and they happened out of sequence. Dexter was one of the ones that they really would have you fooled. They would have Dexter in season 2. Dexter was going to get caught like every episode, and they would make the trailers look like he was going to get caught, and he never got caught. And it was like, yeah, you guys got me. But yeah, I did see that trailer. Liz is getting fired. Yeah. She ain't getting fired. She hasn't been fired now. I mean, dude, inappropriate everything about that woman. She's drunk driving in this episode. Like,
now I'm thinking about too, because mentioning Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, bring up Larry's. I thought my phone was great, maybe it's scary because some conditions seeing black and white is done. Yeah, it definitely it adds a whole other atmosphere to it. To Godzilla -1, you're seeing it in black and white, but going back to what I mentioned about. By the way, I got the Wikipedia up because Alan Cumming was initially going to be the Green Goblin in that, and he's quoted here as saying, "This is Alan Cumming because he departed, but he would have been the Green Goblin." His quote is, "My God, that was a lucky escape. Jesus Christ, talk about dodging a bullet there." But
everybody got that lucky. Some people didn't get lucky at all.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like. Yeah, I mean, because I definitely applaud, the ambition of that. Because I mean, you're talking about doing Spider-Man on Broadway. I mean, you're really going for something really, big and grandiose, by Broadway stage production standards. So, yeah, it's kind of thing where it's like I don't want to dance on their grave or anything. Because I mean, the concept, the idea, the impetus behind it and the chutzpah, maybe it's the word I'm looking for is it's the kind of thing where it's like you watching from the sidelines and thinking like, man, it's like this is so crazy, but it just might work. And I mean, it's obviously a lot of people got hurt doing it, so and it didn't really turn out to be like the the Broadway classic they were hoping for, but it's bravo for trying. So I've seen like YouTube clips of that, some of the stuff they were doing, and yeah, it was really ambitious. So really, it's like I don't like the idea of dog piling on something that that has a great concept behind it that somebody really believes in, but it just doesn't it doesn't come together the way they want to for whatever reason, whether it's logistics or circumstances or budgetary reasons, or maybe just they bit off more than they could chew, which is probably the case for Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. But it's kind of the case where it's like it's a case I think we're better to try the field than not to try it at all. So kind of my thoughts, thinking back to Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. I don't know if anybody's got any thoughts in the comments on that. Spider-Man, he also says he's getting fired from the Avengers. Okay. Well, I mean, the whole world forgot who you are too, so it's kind of that's probably they're firing you because you're waiting on that Spider-Man guy, but you'd show up. You didn't show up in the helicarrier. Larry says, I really love how they did that old story told as a lie through thing from season 1. It's definitely important too. Spider-Man also says season 1 is very good. Liz is getting fired. Tide jump a few years. You have a look at the TD with the True Detective cliches. They built for themselves most scenes as repeat tropes. By the way, as somebody who's not seen the show, because Ray Fisher, of course, he was on season 2 or 3. What was it?
I think it was 2.
Okay, yeah. What was it?
I think it was 3.
Yeah, what was his kind of story all about on that?
I forgot. To be honest with that, I haven't watched season 3, and season 3 wasn't very good.
Okay, yeah, because he was like his father, I think, was Mahershala Ali on there.
Yeah, but there was hold on, because I that was before I started covering it. Yeah, so dude, it's been 5 years since that came out.
Well, yeah, because that was Ray's first thing he did, like post. It was in that period between JL and ZSJL, so that was the first thing he really did. In that interim.
Yeah, he's Henry and Amelia's son.
Okay. Oh, and Forth says his role is small and forgettable in season 3. Okay.
Yeah, I almost didn't remember he was in there. He's there, but he's the son, but he's not a pivotal character.
Well, that just makes it.
Nothing against Ray Fisher.
Yeah. Well, that's also. That's testimony to how much he benefited from the real Justice League movie coming out. Because again, he got screwed on the theatrical version. Then he had a minor supporting role in season 3. So it's like he was again with the movie being torn apart like it was. I mean, what that would have done to his career trajectory had the Snyder Cut not come out. And even then, it's like because with him being the big whistleblower behind the scenes, I mean, it's I think you'd mentioned it's like that probably gave a lot of studios some second thoughts on him, unfairly so, because I mean, his career should not suffer because he was the guy to bring all this crap to light, but the way they operate is like a mafia. It's they don't they don't want their skeletons in the closet being brought out by this guy, which again sucks. But
even if you don't have any skeletons in the closet, you just don't want the situation. Some things become to the point where it's like you're trying to run a production. Do you want to bring? You already have enough issues that are going to be inherent in just running a production. Do you want that distraction? Do you want to inherit someone else's crusade? I mean, even if you had nothing, you'd have nothing to do with it. Now you're bringing those issues, and everything around them to your production. It's just kind of tough, and there's not necessarily a right or wrong to it. It's I'm running my production. Do I need all this right now? I got enough things going on. Do I need to bring on somebody that may, it's just too many issues. No, but it's going to be on a production by production basis because obviously he's getting work, so it's not
he's on Rebel Moon, probably in a lot more. The extended cut, he's going to be in the second one. He's got
he was a stage actor primarily.
He comes from a theater background, and he's doing. In fact, actually, 2020, he did the piano lesson on Broadway. And that also had Sam Jackson in it, and Netflix is doing a movie adaptation of that he's coming back for. So that's very good to hear, because he's of course Zach. I'm wondering how much he had to. I'm wondering how much did he have to fight to get him into Rebel Moon.
some of these people have not seen the previous seasons of True Detective. Some of them, if they're watching this show, season 4 may be the first one that they watch. Try not to spoil it in the chat what's going on any level, because some people might want to go back and watch seasons 1, 2, and 3, and we don't want to. I've been really trying hard not to say anything because I know people may want to pick it up, and if, so try not to give any synopsis about anything that's going on, even if you're just joking and people will take that shit seriously.
Okay, yeah. Well, again, I'm definitely a complete newcomer to True Detective.
Yeah, so don't read Force's comment at all.
Okay. With that, but yeah. Anyway, going back to Ray Fisher, do you think that Zach really had to? Did he have to, really fight to bring Ray with everything we just laid out? Was that something he maybe had to struggle with Netflix a lot to bring him into Rebel Moon, or was that maybe more because it seems like they pretty much just let him have free reign with Rebel Moon? So,
ask your question again. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Everything you said about with Ray being the big whistleblower on the JL behind the scenes situation, it's like how that could have.
That was Zach's production, and they pretty much let him do what he wanted to do on that, and so but every production is gonna, for every production that says yes, there might be I remember that whole situation, and we just want to stay away from that. So, every production is going to have its own, its own criteria of whether they want to deal with that or not. And like I said, especially if there's court cases and things and it's blowing up, because that becomes the story and not your production. It's just there's no right or wrong answer to it. It's going to go on a case by case basis.
Yeah, but do you think you'll be? Obviously, I'm sure we'll see more of him in the extended version of Child of Fire. But do you think? Because we've seen the tease of him in the Scargiver trailer. Do you think that he's more significantly in that, or was this maybe?
I don't know whether he's truly dead or alive.
Well, because the thing about it is, it's like you introduce him and he's in the second. It's like, and he's got a prequel comic coming out right now, a 4-issue prequel comic. So it's like that kind of suggests it's like, you don't do that with somebody who's just intended to be a side character.
Yeah, it's just like I said, till I find out where is it being told in flashbacks or if it's being told in real time. I think he's going to be quite significant, but I don't know just how and why or how and what until I see the movie, because of the fact that his death is implied in the first part. I don't know if that's real though. I don't know if he's really dead.
Hey, like we said, it's like no body, and and plus, of course, we got the resurrection bubble that Atticus Noble goes into. So
you literally see a guy coming back from having his shit kicked out of him. So yeah, he definitely can.
And then falling 8,000 feet. So, but and let me check the date again, is because that's supposed to be April 19th. Yeah, it'll be April 19th. Dortness is Ray Fisher. Yeah, no, that's the one I was talking about. It's the piano lesson, because he was in the Broadway production of that, and then Netflix is
he's going to get work. I'm not saying David, but it's just that I could see some companies being just wanting to stay away from controversial figures for because that once you bring them in, that maybe with Denzel, that's not going to be the issue. That's Denzel Washington.
Well, it's got Denzel Washington. It's got Sam Jackson. It's got a lot of big names attached to it. So
whenever that, and it's unfortunate because you want the right stuff to happen. You want the workplace to be happening, but at the same time, even when it comes to Hollywood, it's not whether people get jobs or not. There's been people who've been whistleblowers that never worked again, not because the company that could hire them has skeletons in their closet. It's just a company that could hire them just doesn't want to deal with all the exposure and all the controversy, because they don't want any one person becoming a story that outshines or eclipses what they're doing. It's kind of a tough double-edged sword.
Yeah, and that just goes back to how bad the situation got behind the scenes on the making, because Ray, like we said, he was coming from a theater background, and which he's still continuing doing, but he had his cameo in Batman v Superman, which of course that'll be that's part of our watch party. We're doing that on Saturday, but he had his cameo in there where he's half a man on the walls, screaming as he's being being turned into Cyborg. But JL or the movie that eventually became the movie Justice League. That was essentially Ray's first movie, and then of course he went from the lead character to basically being the Justice League's IT guy in the theatrical version So
Yeah, that was. Yeah, well, I don't want to delve into that because it just makes my head hurt.
yeah, but just the thought, just kind of, it just kind of jumped into my head, again with like him continuing as a Darian Bloodaxe and Rebel Moon, and yeah, the ugliest of that situation is still, it's like I don't think that's I don't think the scarring and the impact of that on the Warner Brothers, I don't think they realize how much that's going to just really hover over them for years to come, because it's like it's their first time bringing this set of superheroes, the Justice League, to live action cinematically, and this is the story behind it. It's like you don't do that. That can't happen with your biggest IP without there being like just a long term, just like.
Well, we've had 5 years.
insane-
We've had 5 years of effects of it, so it's out there. So
Yeah.
I mean, we had the way they handled the situation really kind of ruined a lot of things for them. And all those people are gone. Every single person that was involved in that situation is gone. So
I can see Ray Fisher doing a patch of Blue Remake. He gives Portier vibes. I remember at a con at a convention one time, he talked about being interested in doing something comedic. So and he said it's like he would not wanting like Cyborg specifically be comedic, but just like that'd be something he want to dive into. So yeah, let's see, like because you can tell from like his performance both in Zack Snyder's Justice League and in Rebel Moon, he's very versatile. So let's see. And I know William is like he avoids comedy like the plague, but I'd love to see Ray kind of dive into something, into a comedy like a buddy road trip movie or something like that.
oh my goodness, it's how to keep out of theaters what you're doing.
Let's see, Slipknot fan some parts more than there's been. Okay, they're just kind of talking about True Detective. Dort Knight, do you know what movie that is in production? No, yeah, that's the one I mentioned. The piano lesson. It's the Netflix is doing an adaptation of the Broadway production, the piano lesson that Ray Fisher was a part of, and he's returning for that. Oh, Aaron says he'd do well in the Blade Runner movie.
I would obviously now you're talking about a movie I've actually go see.
Well, do you think like because they got the Amazon show coming up, it's like, do you think that there might like cinematically they might see any more Blade Runner? They might do like a Blade Runner 3 or anything. You think so?
Yeah,
well, especially. Well, part of the reason I ask is because what the movie 2049 that we watched today it was very well received. I mean, you go back and look at the buzz on that. I mean, it got a great reception across the board, but it did not perform well financially. But obviously, that didn't stop them from making the Amazon series that's coming up. So
no, because the reasons it's failed. Most people when they take over things like that. Most people know they have an ego that they can outdo the person. Like it's like if you're Amazon, you look at why that movie failed. That's not going to happen under your umbrella. So, also, I mean, I think Denis Villeneuve would want to do a third one. I think he would probably do one that's not a direct continuation, but I think you'll see Blade Runner on the big screen eventually, especially if the show does well.
Yeah. Ray Fisher for Blood and Honey 3. Okay. So let's see anybody else. Yeah, Ford says he removed the comment with spoilers.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
Most of these people in here have not seen it, and a lot of the people that will watch it and rewatch have not seen it. So,
by the way, Aaron, also now that you've gone through all of Avatar, have you seen the movie? Have you seen the Last Airbender movie? I don't think you have. I think I can't remember if you mentioned that or not, but again, it's horrible. If you guys want to see me do a William reacting to Howard the Duck in real time, we can do that watch party before the Netflix show comes up. So I will captain that ship. I will take you guys through this abomination, and no, it doesn't have like a bestiality or anything like that. But it's just such a classic example of just like taking just something with so much potential just being just driven into the ground. That was just DOA. I mean, every single thing about that just falls flat and then some. I mean, yeah. So
All right, I think that's a good note to end it because I've ran out of shit to talk about, and
Yeah.
so is a chat. So,
well, one quick one. The fourth just dropped here. I have a hunch the Amazon Blade Runner will not fill the movies just like they did with Lord of the Rings. Wrong. I'm guessing Amazon Runner will be a generic action movie like JJ Trek versus Old Trek.
I doubt it. There's just two different IPs. You're talking Tolkien, and you're not. There's a lot you could do with Blade Runner in series. They showed that with Black Lotus. They'll be fine, I think. I'm looking forward to it. Okie dokie, guys. It's been a long day of streaming, so I'm gonna wrap it up there. And okay, so stuff we got coming up this weekend. This week, got some stuff I'll be announcing, and then obviously Saturday 2 p.m. we're doing BBS, and I will probably, like I said, I got some stuff that's coming up that I'll be announcing once I get permission to announce it, and then that'll let you know where my programming is going to be for the rest of the week. 988 suicide prevention, suicide and crisis lifeline 24/7. Call, take chat. Like I said, if you're watching True Detective, you see this at the end of every one because there's a lot of depression, a lot of suicide going on in that show. So, Brad, where can I find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Vero. You can find me here, there, on Facebook. You can check out all my great writing, all this wonderful nerd shit we talk about. And, of course, you can find me here on the Sci-Fi Center. I guess, what was I tonight? I was the subject changer. I was the copyright striker, getter, or something like that. And actually, before we sign off, Aaron responded to me. I've seen the movie. When it came out, I didn't like it. I think that movie kind of prevented me from seeing the TV show until I knew the truth from you. Again, telling you guys, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You have to listen to me on these things, guys.
This is not my thing, so you guys have fun with all that. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Later, guys.